Hey, what's up, guys? I took down my last video because I think maybe I didn't word it correctly, and I just want to make my point made. And one of my subscribers just sent me a link to another person's channel. I think it's the person's video is Dabu7. I've watched his stuff before, and I've appreciated his information. But this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people with good intentions that are using titles that are not going to help us in the long run. And I think we should try and keep ourselves separated from the way mainstream media uses words and misinformation or exaggerated information or technical information to get people to view their particular channel. And to say things like this is a nationwide thing. And I just watched the Dabu 007's video, and his is straight out propaganda and untrue. Because, if you watch the video I just made earlier, I show with a receipt with an EBT card, and I'll show it right here, the person that lives upstairs, a friend of the family since 1981, who I help because he's disabled. I took him food shopping tonight just to verify, and I live in New York, and even though we only had 48 cents left because we took him food shopping a couple of days earlier, it went through. There was no panic. There were not 5,000 people in the store. So this is what I need people to understand. I appreciate people that give information. And to exaggerate on purpose is not the way we should do it. Because then how are we any different from mainstream media or how the government goes? And there's a thing called drowning in good intention. Now, I know we want to get the truth out. And I know if we make a very fancy title, a very scary title, a title that draws people in, it will get people to look. But it's the wrong message. Because when we're talking about the government purposely shutting down nationwide, the food stamp program, that's going to scare a lot of people. Do we really want to go to that level? So when I made comments on a couple of the other people's channels, it was not to troll, it was not to start fights, it was not to name call, it was to say we need to word things a little more carefully. Now, I know people use the argument, well, Chris, haven't you said things that were wrong? Absolutely. But I've never purposely tried to use misinformation and stretch and basically not tell the truth or try and make it seem like it's different from what it was. I may not get things right all the time. No one does. But I've never tried to lie to people to get people to watch my videos on my channel. So I just want us to be better than that. Because the average person on the street will not view our channels, will not listen to us. Why? Because the mainstream media convinces them that we're all tinfoil hat wearing people, we're all people that use fear, and we're doom and gloomers, and we're all expecting the world to end. Now, I've said for years that we need to prepare for things. But I've never said things like for example, when December 21st, 2012 came, you never once saw a video of me saying, oh my God, we're going to all die, get down on your knees and say your prayers because this is it. But there's a difference between preparing for something just in case than to just go through life not caring. You know, it's something as simple as, getting bug spray if you go camping because you don't want to get stung by a mosquito that happens to have some kind of disease. Does that mean, oh my God, I'm going to get stung by a bug and get a disease? No. But if you prepare yourself and use precautions, you could make it more difficult for that to be a possibility. There's so much fighting in this quote-unquote community back and forth. We all need to find a way to do better. And that includes myself. I've had arguments with people from time to time. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm innocent or I'm perfect or I get everything right. Those who've watched my channel for long enough know that when I make a mistake or I do something wrong, I do my best to try and correct it. So I just want people to understand, when you have somebody that may be on the food stamp program stumbles across a video that says nationwide shutdown of the food stamp program, they're instantly going to get scared. Of course they're going to watch the video. And then for them to see, well, it's a glitch, it's only a few states, 17 is not even half the amount of states in the country, so it's not even half. That is the wrong message. We need to save that kind of misinformation for the mainstream media because it makes them look bad. We shouldn't make ourselves look bad. And we have to stop this whole, well, I don't like this person, so no matter what that person says or this person does, I'm going to send hate that way. We need to get past that because as you see, whether if this was a glitch, whether this was done on purpose, whether it was a test, we'll never really know. But it just goes to show, like I've said in previous videos hundreds of times, where it only takes one situation and things change like that. It's the variables that we don't see that come at us from a side that we weren't expecting. I'm on the side of the people who want to try and make a better world. I also know that it's not easy. Not only do we have the government to worry about, corrupt politicians, corrupt bankers, corrupt policemen, and I'm not suggesting they all are, because of course they're not. I have family that's cops, and if they were corrupt, I would have a problem with it. But we have so many enemies. We got to stop fighting amongst ourselves and be able to communicate. And that's why when I, and I'm not going to say the name of any of the channels that I spoke to, but when we talked back and forth, there was no cursing, there was no making fun of each other, there was no attacks, there was conversation. We have to be better than mainstream media. I know we need to get the message across. And maybe, like, for example, with my titles, they're not going to be exciting. They're not going to draw in thousands of people. And maybe I'll get 100, maybe 150, maybe even 200 views. But I would rather have the people come to me because they want to hear what I have to say than to read a headline that makes them want to visit it and it ends up not being what it says. That's the wrong message we are sending. And again, I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect because I know I'm not. And I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. We all have. To err is human. None of us are perfect. But considering how the mainstream media makes us all out to be doom and gloomers, end of the world kind of people that shouldn't be taken seriously, we shouldn't help them by misleading. And whether people want to believe it or not, when you use titles like nationwide, that's being misleading. And I watched other people's videos, and like I said, that one guy's that I mentioned earlier, and I'm not going to say his name anymore, I'm sure he had good intention. I'm sure he wants to get the information out. But to specifically say things like people are panicking in the stores, and there's rushes to the stores, and it's everywhere in the country, is not accurate. And when people find, like for example, when I found out that Alex Jones was not always being truthful, and I actually give credit to Corey C. for that, because Corey C. He actually met Alex Jones. They live around the same area of Texas. And Alex Jones was making a video about how this one particular supermarket was no longer selling regular toothpaste and they were only selling the non-fluoride toothpaste. Which is great information if it was true. But Corey actually showed that same aisle that he was filming in and showed all of that non-fluoride toothpaste, but then he walked down to the end of that shopping center, well, the end of that store, and showed the section, there was another section, that had all the regular toothpaste. So was Alex Jones trying to get positive information out there? Possibly. But he lied. And that is not the message that we want to send, because that creates distrust. And from that day on, I no longer trusted Alex Jones. So this is what I need us to realize. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to make mistakes. I might get wrong information. But I will never take a story and mislead people about it. Now, some people may perceive that. But I can't control what other people think. Some people are going to make their opinions no matter what you do or say. Those people you can't help. That the people who've been watching my channel and been subscribed loyally for all these years know that I try my best to do the right thing. And that's what I want from the rest of us. We need to work together, be a team. So, is it going overboard saying, well, you shouldn't say the word nationwide? Maybe I am going a little overboard with it. But I want this information to be where the average person out there comes to see our channels and gets accurate, truthful information and isn't scared to death doing it. We all have to learn from that. I myself included. I'm no different. I'm not standing above anybody. I'm on the same team. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace.